Hi, welcome to this solo playthrough for Age of Inventors. So I have already shown in a previous video how to play the game with explaining all the specific rules. So just a couple of minor things that affect solo. So for setup, you select corporation trading firm, which is this one. You have to play corporation and decide stating trading firm. So I'm going to be here. This solo mode is played as a two-player game in terms of mechanics, and you are the first player. You place the second player's Ingenuity meeple at the top of the Ingenuity mark. So I have selected the purple for the opponent. They're going to be placed on the top of the Ingenuity track. Then you place second player's track meeples on position 8. So it is a cap. They're already at 8. They're not going to be progressing. They're going to be there, but I need to go on position 9 in order to win 8 victory points instead of none or 4 if I don't progress on the tracks. Also, this player is not considered to act, but he is considered to have infinite resources, inventions and inventors in their possession when resolving other rules. So when I have to steal, I will take from the stack. For example, if I have to steal an inventor or something like that from his hand. There are some special rules. When drawing equipment, you draw 3, like in a two-player game. When gaining the bonus of an invention that grants you innovation or steal, you resolve it normally as a two-player game. And you do not gain a breakthrough token when placing inventions. Breakthrough token. In order to calculate your final score, your victory points are added from the following. First of all, you add the victory points from the tracks, how you have progressed, and you are awarded specific victory points like in the normal game. Then you add victory points from any experiment tokens that you have fulfilled, like from the normal game. And then victory points from your funds. At the end of the game, you gain 1 victory point for every 5 funds. This is only in the solo, so I need to get a lot of funds because every 5 funds leftovers will give me 1 victory point at the end of the game. You test your score to see how well you have done, and this is how you play the solo. Just a reminder for the ability that the corporation trading firm has, which is specific, and it is linked with funds, of course. So corporation trading firm has entrepreneurship, which when placing invention, you receive funds equal to the engineering, chemistry and physics consumed. So if I place an invention, for example this one, and I need to consume 2 physics, I will also receive 2 funds. This is their special ability. And they start with 6 more funds instead of 5. So 5 plus 6, they give me 11. And I'm starting on Ingenuity position number 2. So that's it, everything for the setup, and now we're ready to start the game. Okay, let's dive right into it. I have placed a board here and meeples for the second color. They're not used, so there's no placement from the AI, from the opponent in this solo. So let's put this aside and let's start playing the game. We are starting like normal, so we start with the upkeep phase. During setup, I have to conclude setup actually. I have received 2 inventors. I need to choose one of the 2 and discard the other one at the bottom of the inventor's deck. So by drawing, I got the Wright brothers, which have a conversion rate 1 scientific resource to 2 others. They provide 3 ideas when they are employed, and their expertise in engineering. And for ability, you may place any inventor adjacent to any other inventor as long as they do not retire them. Normally you cannot place inventor next to inventor, which is a basic rule of the game. And Alexander Graham Bell, you can tap him to search and recruit any inventor without using a switch by paying their normal ideas value in funds. Okay, and have conversion 1 physics to 2 engineering. He's also good, but I think I'm going to need a bit more flexibility on conversion at the beginning, so I'm going to start with the Wright brothers. So I'm setting them there, and it's an ability which is always ongoing. I don't need to tap anything. This is, you tap it once to use it, okay? So I discard them at the bottom of the deck. And then I have also 4 inventions to start with. Water frame, lightning rod, mechanical, reaper, and penicillin. I think I'm going to go for 2 engineering inventions because this inventor, the Wright brothers, which I need to also take the matching hex to be available once placed. They do have expertise scientific on engineering, so I think it's wise to get those 2 inventions, which will give me 1 activation for equipment and 1 additional invention. Okay, I'm going to leave them there for convenience and visibility, but this is my hand. Okay, let's put them here. And these are discarded at the bottom of the deck. Now we are ready to start the game. Everything else is set, so we're ready to go. So we go through the steps of the upkeep phase 1 to 7, but for the first round only. We are in the first round out of the 4. We start with step 6. Moving forward from the subsequent rounds, like a normal game, we follow all the steps from 1 to 7. So draft an equipment and activate your lab equipment following that. So I'm the first player, so I'm going to grab this and choose one of the equipments. I can either get something that provides ideas, and I start with these resources, 1 of each of the scientific fields plus 1 idea, or being able to take 1 more resource of any kind once placing a lab assistant there. I'm between the 2, to be honest, but I need to spend 2 funds to take this, so I'm going to get the idea one, which is free, and place this one there. Now I may need to, this will determine turn order as well, but there is no placement from the opponent in AI, so there is no constriction there, so I think I'll go for that. And I'm going to place it on one of those spots in order to gain some more resources going on. I think I need to spend funds for all of them, so I won't have funds, but I'm spending funds to gain resources. So I'm going to click, I can select any of those and get the bonus. So let's spend 4 funds to get 4 engineering resources linked with my engineering expertise of the Wright brothers. So I'm placing it here, covering this bonus, spending 4 funds, going down to 7, and picking up 4 engineering resources. Okay, so I'm here. These are all my resources, okay? Good. Now, step 7, we get to activate our lab. By activating, meaning the lab equipment that we have. So I'm getting 1 more idea. And we have concluded the upkeep phase. Now moving to the player phase, starting with the first player. We're going to start. I'm going to start placing lab assistants and switching on switches in order to perform various things in the game. My purpose is to gather victory points in this solo there is a strict and difficult cap already at 8, so I need to try to get up on those tracks as fast as possible to get the possibility to get a high score. Okay, so let's see what we have in our hands. We have 4 lab assistants and we need to get some things rolling on. We have some nice inventors there. Let's see the abilities first. You activate once, tapping him, Albert Einstein, and you may use 2 switches this turn. Okay, not bad. And has a conversion 1 to 3, which is also really good. I want to have resources at the beginning of the game. James Watt, you may place 2 of your lab assistants on your turn instead of 1. Conversion rate 1 idea to 2 physics. And this is an ongoing ability. And draw back 1 of your lab assistants and you may use them again. This is really good because it gives me like 1 more action with a lab assistant. I think I'm going to look forward to get him going on. So and there's a cheap idea to conceive with 1 invention to conceive with 1 idea cost. So let's start by getting some inventors on the board. I have 1, so I'm switching on 1 of my switches to place 1 of the inventors on an eligible spot. Now the ability of the Wright brothers is as long as I'm not retiring any inventor, I can put an inventor next to another inventor, which is forbidden by the rules, and they need to be at least 1 space ahead, so not next to each other at any given time. So you cannot put inventors adjacent to each other, but since he's the first, doesn't matter. So let's put them there. In order to do that, I pay the 1 resource in the scientific source of their field if they're dual 1 of the 2. This is an engineering, so I'm paying 1 engineering resource to place them and switching on 1 of my switches. So normal games I alter rounds between the other players, so there is no action taken from the AI, the solo opponent here. So I'm continuing because I'm trying to make a high score essentially. So I think I'm going to use those 2 inventions. And I need ideas to get inventions. So let's start by that. I think I'm going to use my second switch to place an invention. So it needs to touch at least 1 side of an inventor matching their expertise and the scientific expertise, the scientific field. This is engineering, orange, matching engineering side. So let's do that. Let's put them there. I need to pay the resources, whatever, all of those which are depicted there. In this case, 1 engineering. And I'm going up on the track of the economic by 1. So that's good. Start moving on. And then I get this bonus, which is to activate my lab equipment. So I'm activating this without placement, so I'm getting 1 idea. Okay, fair enough. But I do have only 2 more switches, so let's start doing some... and here I will get 2 fans, which is okay. I want fans, but yeah. The bonus of this invention, the iconography, means that you get 1 invention from the offer. So draw the top face down invention tile from the stack. So that's nice because I'm not going to use a switch to pick an invention. But I need, yeah, let's do that. Let's pay the 3rd switch, switching on to place this one. So placing the 2nd one, I need to pay 1 scientific engineering resource and 1 physics. And again, 1 more up on the economic track. So already I'm getting 4 victory points because I have entered this track, but for those two I have 0 at the end of the game. So, and I get to draw one of those from the stack face down. So, okay, I got antibiotics. That means I'm looking forward to place maybe Albert Einstein, because he has chemistry expertise division. Those two are not, but I need to pay 6 funds. Yeah, but I think for my last switch, or maybe let's do a placement. Let's get one more idea by placing this lab assistant here. Then second lab assistant. Again, economic track. My second lab assistant would be to to get one other resource from there. But before doing that, let me use my last switch, I think, to get Count Alessandro Volta. Some I'm putting him there. I'm taking his respective tile. And the reason I've done that is, first of all, I'm going to make Albert Einstein cheaper from 6 funds to 4 funds. Because I want him, because I need to start putting green chemistry inventions like antibiotics, which I have in my hand. But also, I will be able to put blue ones once he's in play. Okay, but that's it. Unfortunately, I've used all my switches, so I cannot put any more inventions or inventors on the board or conceive any more by switches, only by bonuses. That means that I have 3 more lab assistants. I'm going to place one here. So I'm going to get one physics resource to be prepared for placing Count Alessandro Volta. One thing I forgot to do before, when I placed the Wright brothers, I should have received also the amount of ideas they produce on the right. So I should have also received 3 ideas. So let's update here. 1, 2, 3. So I'm good on ideas, but I need to have switches to be able to pay them to get inventions. So I have 2 more lab assistants. I think I'm going to... I don't want to miss the stethoscope, because I'm planning to place Count Alessandro Volta in order to take it with one idea only. And I think even though I have 2 more lab assistants for the first round, I have no other, I don't want to shuffle and refresh those, because I'm planning to get also Albert Einstein, but I need switches to do that. So I need that and I need that. That's why I'm not using any refreshing to get more. I could be getting one lab. One project. Yeah, let's do that. So I'm paying 1 engineering, 1 chemistry, 1 physics, 1 idea, and 2 funds. Now that will leave me with no... not a lot of resources, but anyway, let's do that, just to avoid wasting 2. Unused lab assistants. I'm not going to use the last one for this one. So I'm drawing the top one, keeping it secret in a multiplayer game, but let's place it face up, this one. At the end of the game, I'm going to get 2 victory points if I assign 5 physics and 1 idea to this tile. Okay, good to know, especially at the beginning of the game. Okay, I think that's done for the first round. I have nothing else. So we conclude. I'm stopping, and let's move forward to the next round. So, round number 2. Let's go to the upkeep phase. Collect back your lab assistants. Okay, get them back. So they are available again for use. Then step 2, reset your switches. So again, they are available for the next round. Switching off, making them available. 3, increase the round counter. I've done it, I'm doing it now, from 1 go to 2. Then draw a breaking news card. This is the only thing I'm not sure how it's played on the solo, because it's not explained in the rulebook. Maybe it's on an updated, because normally here players vote with thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up for the left, thumbs down for the right. Ties have been broken by the player with a higher ingenuity level. Here, because this affects a bit different the play style of the round, just a bonus or thing. For this case, I'm going to select myself. Maybe they need to fine tune it for the solo, how you do this step. The board's games times, John Scott Trial. Tennessee school teacher John Scott's trial for teaching Darwin's theory of evolution begins July 1925. Really? Really, on 1925, not that far along, there was a trial on teachings of Darwin. Good to know. So, either recruiting an inventor costs -2 funds, or conceiving an invention costs +1 idea. I think I'm going to go for that one, because it enriches, it enhances and supports development better. So let's do that. So for this round, recruiting inventors costs 2 less funds. So if I get Albert Einstein instead of 4, I will pay 2, which is what I'm trying to do. Oh, wait, stupid of me, but let me quickly go backwards. I had one lab assistant from the previous round, and when I place lab assistants, I should have told you that I place also inventors. I place a book here. Okay, so having one leftover of lab assistants, that means I could have used it from the previous round to put it there and make 1 conversion. So by making 1 conversion, I would give 1 and take 2 of any kind. So I would give 1 whatever, 1 engineering, and take 2 engineering. So I would have 2. Okay, and then I would take that back. Okay, it's stupid to miss 1 worker placement, lab assistant placement just for that. Keep in mind, when you take place inventors on the board, you place also your book, and this is where also worker placement happens. Right, we're back now. And actually, once this is not placed, keep in mind, this is on the side. I need to place him in order to use him. Okay, I'm just putting it somewhere aside, because I don't have the ability yet. Yeah, for the brothers, the Wright brothers, I have the ability. I need to place Count Alexander Volta to get the ability. So I'm not placing it here yet. Once you acquire him, you hire him from the offer. Okay, let's start. Let's go through the next steps. We've done the breaking news card. Then earn funds based on ingenuity. My fund level is 2, so I'm getting 2 funds. So 7 plus 2, 9. Then draft equipment. So this goes back. These become cheaper, and you refill. You need 2 more, 1 more from the number of players. It's a 2-player game in theory, the solo, so 2 plus 1, 3. Okay, and shifting towards the old ones, towards the cheapest slots. Here, the person who would be top on the ingenuity track would get to pick, but in this solo, at least, they don't pick any equipment or don't discard any in this mode, as it is described in the rulebook. So normally in a 2-player game, the purple player would pick first one of those, and then the leftmost, if it was like that, would be the first player for the round. Yeah, but here for the solo, I'm picking myself, so I'm going to pick this one and get to place it, I think, here. So again, spending 4 funds, again 4 physics resources, so 9 minus 4, I go down to 5, but I get for physics resources. Yeah, good. And then I also have this these two spots now for worker placement, lab assistant placement, to get one idea and one physics respectively. Cool, cool, cool. Step 7, activate your lab equipment. So activating and in any order, so I gain one idea and I gain one physics, one chemistry resource from this spot, that and that. Cool. Done with the upkeep phase, going to the player phase. So for the player phase, let me switch it. Starting with the first player who is on the left, from left to right, first, second, third on this initiative marker slot. I would get to start my turns, but now again I'm on my own, so right. So let's start by playing a switch, paying one resource on their expertise to place Volta. Now he's active and his ability is active. I can draw back, tap it once to draw back one of my lab assistants so I can use them again. And have a conversion giving physics resources to gain 2 ideas. So let's place them on an eligible spot. An eligible spot is not adjacent to this one. Yeah, but due to the ability of the Wright brothers, you can do so as long as you don't retire them. So if it's not the last one that you are placing. So let's place him here. Okay. And I paid one switch. I paid one physics resource. Now I gain 2 ideas. The reward on the right. When you get inventors on the board, they give you ideas. This is the reward. And you want these ideas to gain inventions. And I'm placing a book. So these 2 spots now are available. Keep in mind, in the 2-player, 3-player, 4-player game, you can use the other players' books. But when you pay the symbol on the left, you pay to the owner of the book instead of the supply. And then you get the reward on the right of the arrow. Right, so by doing so, I'm now able to place blue inventions, physics inventions. And now it's a good idea to pay a second switch and give the cost in ideas. This is the cheapest one, only one idea, to get this one and have this available as well. This slide to the cheapest one, this now costs 1, this costs 2, and then we refill. Okay. Right. Now I think I'm going to use my third switch to gain to place this this invention. So I'm putting next to an expert in the field, which is Volta, blue with blue. I need to pay the resources on the left, so I'm paying 2 physics. He's giving me 2 ideas. I'm good on ideas, but I need to do something to use them. Okay, for sure I'm going to do a placement to climb up for more victory points at the end. But I'm not doing it now. And the reward is an instant bonus. I get 3 physics resources and every other player gets 1. AI doesn't keep a track, they have infinite, so I'm only getting 3 myself. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Next. Oh, I forgot the ability. I have when you place of the trading firm, when you place inventions, you get in funds the cost of the resources you spent. So that doesn't affect anything. I should have received 1 + 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 5 more funds. Okay, that's good. That's good. A bit better. Don't forget your special ability. Right. So 1 assistant goes there, so I gain 1 more physics, chemistry resource. That's my 1 placement. Another one goes there to gain 1 idea. Another one would go here to gain 1 more project. I pay 1 physics, 1 engineering, 1 chemistry, 1 idea, and 2 funds. So I go from 10 to 8 to take 1 more. There you have it. So I'm going to get 2 more victory points. Oh, it's the same. 5 + 5 is very difficult to do. To get 10 physics resources. Anyway, but it will give me, if I do that, 2 more victory points. Right, I have 1 more. So I think I'm going to send it here to gain 1 chemistry resource. Okay. And I'm done. So I still have 1 more switch, so I'm using it. Actually, no, wait. Before doing so, I'm using the ability of Volta. Drawing back 1 of my assistants to use them again. Okay, cool. That means that both the assistant and the location becomes available to me. So I'm going to use them to send it here. And now I give 1 resource of my choice, and I get 2 back. And I get 2 chemistry resources. And the reason I've done that is because now I can use my last switch to place an invention, which would be, no. I cannot place antibiotics because there is no expert in, I need Albert Einstein. So I'm going to use my last switch to get 4 - 2 because of the breaking news discount, and get Albert Einstein. So I would pay 2, get him available still, not able to place him, and get the respective hex, and have him for the next round. Cool. But now I'm done. I don't have anything else to do, so I conclude the second round. Halfway there. Oh, and when I place the stethoscope, I should have also climbed 1 on the academics track. So 1, you can cross 1 and 1, 2. Okay, we're good. So already I have 4 and 4, 8. I need to start moving on the industrial track as well, otherwise it's 0 point for not getting into the track at all. Now, done for the round. So moving to the next round, what we do then, using the inventor ability is a free action, of course. Yeah, same like conversions if you do. Okay. Then Upkeep Phase. Collect your assistants. Then 2. Reset your switches. 3. Increase round counter. Round 3. 4. Draw breaking news card. The First World's Fair. Britain put on the First World's Fair in 1851. The event mostly focused on industrial revolution machinery, including sewing machines, telegraphs, and steam hammers. Steam hammers. Well, need to get to read a bit more about that. When placing an inventory, you gain double ideas. All players gain 5 funds. I'm going to select this one because 5 plus 6, 11. Okay. Then step 5, earn funds based on ingenuity. Again, 2 more funds for me. I go to 13. Draft equipment. Okay. So I'm going to select this one because it gives me 1 resource of my choice. Even though, to be honest, I should be getting this one maybe, because if I start using it wisely, I can get at least 2 victory points. Anyway, I'm picking this one. Now, I'm covering this one, paying 4 funds to gain 4 chemistry. So paying 4 funds, going to 1, 2, 3, 4 to 9 to gain 4 chemistry. But there is a catch now that most probably you will not see it in this solo. It's something that if you're ahead on those tracks, you gain one of the medallion. The medallion gives you the respective resource that you see on top of it as a wild for invention placement, which is really important, but they're really high, so I cannot get to use them. Maybe I can surpass towards the end one of those markers, but I don't think I can do it at the beginning for sure. Okay. Right, and then we activate our lab equipment. So 1 idea, 1 chemistry resource. I have lots of those, I need to start doing something with them. And 1 resource of my choice. I think I'm going to go for, oh, I can use those here, huh? Yeah, right. And this should have slided down just in the previous round. Should go for what should be the extra? I want to place him. I will use chemistry because I have a lot of chemistry to place him. Should I take 1 from here, 1 physics or 1 engineering? Let's take 1, so at least I have flexibility in all of the resources. So you see I'm at the 2nd round, upkeep phase, and I have quite a few of resources, but I need to start doing something with them. So this is also refreshed at the beginning of at the upkeep phase. Reset switches and inventor abilities. Step 2. Right, now we're going to get into play. Now I use my first switch to place Albert Einstein. I can pay with either physics or chemistry. I have a lot of chemistry, so I'm paying with chemistry resources. Now I get to place him. Let's put him here. Once placed, I need to put my book. He gives me 3 ideas. on the right of the hex. Lots of ideas. And this is different because I'm playing with the trading firm. If you play a multiplayer game, it will be quite different. So I get to put them there. And now I can tap him to use 2 switches this turn. Okay. Maybe that's not that good in the solo mode because you're playing on your own, you don't compete with other players, but he gives conversion 1 to 3, which is really good. So I have flexibility on resources now from his conversion, which is good. That's why I took him. And he's the dual discipline, dual scientific expertise, so both blue and green. I didn't have any green. So, but maybe not place him here. I'm going to place him here because I have the blue. Inventions around here. I need to place green, so let's put 4 available instead of only 1, 2. Again, it's 3, but I don't 1, 2, 3 and 1 blue. But I don't restrict 1 more blue from Alexander Volta, because if I place a green one here, that's 1 blue minus placement for him. Okay, too much analysis, but I think it's the best strategic point here, even though I have 2 less spots. Okay, and I'm using my second switch to place antibiotics. Now I pay 4 chemistry, 1, 2, 3, 4. In the solo, when you pay, you gain in the trading firm ability. You gain that many. No, it's for inventions. Yeah, it's not for inventors. So no funds for me here. Yeah, I only get funds when I place invention. Oh yeah, what I'm talking, this invention, yeah, of course, I place an invention, so 4 funds for me here, so 9 plus 4, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 13, okay. I get 3 steps up on the academic track, 1, 2, 3, I need to place something that will give me advancement on the industrial track, yeah. Need to shuffle maybe these. Okay, otherwise I lose 4 points if I don't move at all on this track. And I get immediately myself 6 chemistry resources and everybody 1. So I'm getting them back, so this is good. I'm paying to get them on board, this invention, but I'm getting those back. So 4, 5, 6. Lots of chemistry resources, and maybe it's good next turn to take this one in order to start doing some conversions. Okay, right, already 2 of my 4 switches are exhausted, so let's start planning ahead. I think I'm going to use the refresh, so I'm paying 2 funds to throw this out and start with 3 new. Okay, oh, that's good, radio system. So, and then for my 3rd switch, I'm going to pay 3 ideas to get this one. Okay. I'm going to use my last switch to place this by paying 2 plus 2, 2 plus 2, get up 3 on the track, 1, 2, 3, and I'm drawing one random inventor. That's what this bonus means. For me, he's Henry Herge, and he's available for me. And I'm also getting 4 funds because of the solo mode. 1, 2, 3, 4. I get the amount of resources spent into funds because of my ability, sorry, from my trading firm. And then I get this bonus instant, which says, steal a switch. Each player below you on the Ingenuity track must use a switch with no effect. If able, reset one of your switches for each switch and another player used. In this case, there's no one below me in the Ingenuity track, so before doing that, wait a minute, because I want to reactivate the switch. I'm going to send one of my lab assistants there, pay 2 ideas in the previous step, so I would have exchange position with him. And that now means that he's below me and I can steal 1 switch from them. That means that I can get 1 switch back. That's really important to have switches, as you can see. Yep. And I now have 1 switch and 2 lab assistants. So, what's the ability of Hertz? Use a switch to place an inventor and activate their conversion without placing a lab assistant. Okay, not bad, but not going to get him now. It would replace one of those. Two more lab assistants and 1 switch. I need to get some resources there going on, so let's do that first. Give 1 physics and 1 chemistry resource because I have too many to get 1 engineering and 2 physics. I gave 1 and I take 3. Okay. Then I use the ability of Volta. That means I take 1 of mine back and I can use it again, and I use it again on the same spot to do exactly the same, because then I get again 2 more physics and 1 engineering. Cool. Now I switch on my last switch and I'm getting this battery invention. So this slides, and then one gets into place. Okay. Then no more switches, but I have 1 lab assistant, and I think I'm going to start getting more resources. I'm using the Wright brother conversion, so I give 1 chemistry. It's good to have a flexibility, you see, to gain one physics and 1 engineering. Cool. So that concludes the 3rd round for me. I'm okay. I'm doing okay, I think, relatively. I don't know what's the range for the good score. Other players can share the results. So let's finish the round. So going to the next and final round, that means going to the upkeep phase. Collect back your assistants. Then, second, reset your switches. Third, increase the round counter to the last round. 4. Draw breaking news card. This is a Standard Oil Ohio Company. John D. Rockefeller forms the Standard Oil of Ohio Company by 1890. Standard Oil controlled 88% of the refined oil flows in the United States. Ingenuity will offer double funds or placing a lab assistant in Ingenuity cost +1 ideas. I think I'm going to go for the first one, so I get double funds from there. Then earn funds based on Ingenuity. I would gain 1, but due to the breaking news I'm gaining 2, so 15, 16, 17. Draft equipment. So this becomes cheaper, this becomes here, and a new one comes there. Okay. I think I'm going to get this one and pay 1 fund to get this one because it will give me 1 chemistry conversion to 2 physics, which I want for this experiments, if I want to give those to get victory points. So I pay 1 fund. I did, and I place it here. That means I draw 1 inventor from there, and he is Carl Benz. When assigning an assistant in Ingenuity, you may pay the cost in funds. Okay, not super thrilled, but anyway, I can also put him. I think I'm not going to focus on placing more inventors at this stage because exactly I have flexibility to place. I don't want ideas, I have a few, but I want to place inventions to gain bonuses. Then activate your lab equipment. So let's start. 1 idea, 1 resource of my type. Give me 1 second and I will check. 1 chemistry. I can give 1 chemistry, and I do, to take 2 physics resources. And then 1 of my choice, that would be 1 more physics. Because I want 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need 2 more, if I'm able to keep them. Right, now, done. So he's also refreshed. And now I can get into the last player phase. So we start. Let's see if we can make the best out of it. There is no way I can get above 8 unless I only focus on 1 field, which could have been the academic one, but I don't have any academic rewarding inventions. So let's see what we can do. So I'm going to focus on getting switches back free from bonuses from these inventions. So I use 1 switch and pay 1 chemistry and 1 engineering to place this invention. So I'm placing it here. I gain 2 funds. I go up on the track here, the economic track, and I switch back 1 of my switches. So that's cool. Really liked it. Then the second thing I do is, again, I pay 1 idea to conceive 1 invention. This slide. A new one goes in place. And I pay 1 switch to place it. Wait a minute. Now that I see this one, this will reward me 2 on academic track. That means I can go 1, 2. Should I do all this effort to get instead of 4 points, 8 points? Just 4 points? No. I don't think it's worth, since I'm in all 3 tracks in the race for getting second place, 4 victory points. I don't think I need to rush to get more. Okay, so I'm using, no, I'm not going to focus on getting this one because, okay, I get up to 6 spot. There's no way I can get all the way up to 9 in the last round. So using my last switch to place this invention next to green, I pay 1 chemistry and 1 engineering. It gives me up on this, which rewards me 4 funds, which I go all the way to 19, so I cannot get more. So maybe before doing so, let's spend some funds to get them back, because it's a waste. Yeah. I'm not going to do it yet. Let's see what with the required funds consumption. Okay. So I want to place this one. So I pay 1 switch to conceive this invention, then pay a second switch to place it. I'm placing it here. That costs 1 physics and 1 engineering. I get 2 funds. Okay, I was 17 before, so I go 19, yeah. Up 1 on the industrial track, and immediately I gain innovative points. The player who plays the invention gains physics resources, 1 plus the number of players below them in the ingenuity track. So it's 1 plus 1, 2. Not bad, because then I have more physics resources, which I need. That's why I did it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I need 1 more. 2 funds and 1 idea to get 4 points from there. Yeah, I focus here on the experiments instead of climbing further on the tracks. I think it's for good, because there was no way I would surpass the 8th position. I placed it here. I went up on that. He's not retired yet because he has 1 more spot. This slides. Okay. Then for my last switch, I would pay 1 chemistry. No. Yeah, let's get 1 more experiment. I sent a lab assistant here, pay 1 idea, 1 engineering, 1 physics, and 1 chemistry, and grab 1 more experiment for me. Okay, oh, that's good, that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. I do have them. I like it. Let's make it count now. Now, and 2 funds. The rulebook does not explain what happens if you go above 19 funds. I suppose this is the cap. If not, they should put it in the rulebook, because there is no token or anything to go above 18. Maybe if it was allowed, you could gain 1 token, and which means 20, and then start also counting more. But anyway, since they don't have 20 plus tokens, I assume I'm only going up to 19 funds. So Yeah, switching on to place this. I should have also put it back before I had it. Now, placing this here, paying 1 chemistry, and no. Before doing that, let's say I send it here to gain 1 engineering, and now I have it, and then I send it, and then I switch on, place this one, paying 1 chemistry and 1 engineering, and getting 2 funds back, going up here 1, getting 4 funds, still didn't matter, I cannot do anything with them, but the reward is I switch back one of my switches, and I have 1 switch and 2 lab assistants to finish a round, to finish the game essentially. Let's make it count, because I need 1 physics, 1 chemistry, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I need 2 physics and 5 chemistry. So to do that, I'm placing 1 of my assistant here to pay 1 chemistry, gain 2 physics. So now I have completed the requirements for this experiment, which will give me both of them 2 + 2, 5 victory points. And for my last placement, I place it here. Oh, yeah, and I give 1, yeah, I give 1 chemistry and get 3 chemistry back from the conversion of Albert Einstein. Oh, that's good. I barely made it, but I made all of my 3 experiments, and this is good because they give me 6 victory points. This is really, really nice. I'm happy with myself, as you can imagine. So, I'm done. I have 1 more switch, but just to get more ideas. Yeah, why not? To place 1 of the inventors, so I'm switching it on and placing. Oh, no, I can use tap Volta and get 1 of my assistants back. Yeah, let's take him. Okay, doesn't matter. And then I have maxed out on my resources, and I cannot do anything with the ideas. I'm on the top of the ingenuity track, so I don't think I have lots of things to do with my extra lab assistant and switch. But just for concluding the game, let's put Henry Hertz on the board. Okay. But I need to pay resources to do so. So let's take 1 resource from here of any kind. I will take 1 physics. So then I'm able to place him, replacing. No. I don't think there's a need to do that because it doesn't give me any victory points. So I'm just left with 1 switch. Okay, fine, that's fine. So let's conclude and see how we get victory points, and finally wrap this up. So the scoring. First of all, I gain victory points for the tracks. I'm in the 2nd position in all 3 of them, so 3 times 4, 12 points from that. Then victory points from ingenuity. I am on the 1st position, so I gain. On the board says 3 victory points. In the latest rulebook says 4 victory points. So maybe it's a misprint because I have the latest rulebook. So 4 + 12, 16. Then score victory points for breakthrough tokens. I have none. And score experiments. So 12 and 4, 16 plus 6, 2, 2 and 2, 6, 22. So my final score is 22. This is nice. This demonstrates all the mechanics of the game, at least, so you get a good feeling of the game on how it plays. But let me know if you tried this solo, and what's your score and how this performs compared to other people, which I think is going to be updated probably in the rulebook when it's finally produced, when they get more solo data out from solo players. So there you have it. This is everything you need to know on how you actually play the solo, and give you a demonstration on the solo that's included in the rulebook. Many thanks for watching.